Hello everybody, back here again for our vlog a day, and today is Tuesday the 7th, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Got up this morning fairly early, well actually way earlier than I should have, I shouldn't say, it was like 5 something, it was way too damn early. Woke up, could not get back to sleep at all, just was not great, so went ahead and got up, got out, got my dog outside, all that good fun stuff. Again, another day, didn't poop on the floor. Yay, I was happy. From there, I was like, yeah, it's like 5, 6 in the morning. I'm just gonna get in the hot tub. I'm like, the hell with it. So I jumped in the hot tub and floated around there for a little bit, trying to find my spot. It's not, I don't know. I kind of like maybe I should have had the soft side for so long, because you could just kind of just put your body in whatever position you want to. It wasn't some mold of some maker who said that's how your body should set. So I ended up finding myself just kind of sitting in the middle of the hot tub, just kind of sitting on the bottom, just kind of there. But it is what it is. The jets are nice, don't get me wrong, but they're not spectacular, and they're not like in the right spots. So I don't know. I might try and reach out to the company like, hey, can I buy one of your cells, and like with nothing in it, just like no jets. I want to put the jets where I want the jets and organize it the way I want, and then take it back, have them plumb it, and then basically go that route. Who knows? I doubt it, but kind of is what it is. So I went ahead, said held it, was in the tub for a little bit, got it chilled out, got it finished, and got dried off, got dressed, hung around outside for a little bit, just kind of killing time with my dog. Wait for my wife to get up so I could start making some noise. She got up and around, had a client drop their dog off, and he's just a grumpy old man. He's such a funny dog. He's just a simple old man that doesn't like new dogs too much. But luckily it was just him here today, so we chilled out a little bit in the morning, hung outside. He loves being outside with me, just loves being here for that. But got him outside, we hung out for a little bit. He chased a couple little shadows and stuff. He's getting pretty blind. So then my wife was ready to go to work, so I got her off to work. Basically took her, everything was good to go. Went ahead from there. Then I had some time frame in the process where I had a bit of a gap with what was happening with just the one dog here. I thought, well, I got some time to kill. I had a meet and greet scheduled for 10, so I came back here to the house, hung out with the dog again. Outside, we were just chilling out, having a good day. And the people text me, so they're on their way. And number one thing I ask for when people say they're on their way, I always ask for like, hey, what's your ETA? Because you could be one street over or be 3 towns over. I don't know where you're coming from. So especially when you're texting me almost an hour before our meeting time. Like, I don't know if you thought 10 was just kind of a generalization and you can show up at 9:05 and that's fine, or if you're going to show up whatever. So I reached out a second time text like, hey, what's your ETA? Because like when you're hitting me up 58 minutes before our meeting time is supposed to be, I don't know if you're thinking you're running late, it was supposed to be 9 instead of 10 and whatever. So they finally text at 10:10 they'll be here. So over an hour drive down. I'm like, okay. They get here, I go outside to meet them, put their dog outside. Actually, he was still outside with me. I left him out there. He was napping on my chair. He didn't wake up when I came in. So I headed outside, met the couple. They got a car, they got the dog out, and it's a beautiful white dog. It's just a beautiful dog. But you can tell the way he's pulling leash stuff, he does not have much for discipline yet. He really don't. I'm assuming husband and wife get out and say hi to him and stuff, everything. She doesn't speak English. I think they're speaking Italian, but I won't swear to it. So they had the whole thing and stuff and whatnot. We basically, the dog pees on a couple items, which he's an unneutered male. He asked that's gonna be a problem. I said, no, unless he acts like a good dog and he doesn't have the tendencies of trying to be a bully and trying to hump everything all the time. He goes, well, have you unfixed females? I said, no, I don't have any unfixed in heat females that'll be here during your stay. And it's one of those things where they wanted me to watch the dog for like 4 days they had booked, with the possibility of turning into like 3 weeks. And I'm like, that's a big gap. Like 4 days is something we can talk about, but I'm not agreeing to like, just because your schedule changes, to automatically turn us into 3 weeks, because that becomes a much different stay. And I was like, okay, whatever. So we got in the house. He understands English perfectly fine. And so I'm saying things to him that he would then translate back to her, which is fine, whatever, no big deal there. And told him, I said, hey, guys, have a seat, sit down, relax a little bit, let the dog settle in, let the dog smell the stuff, so we kind of get a little idea of what the house is before I introduce Bruce to him. And they're asking a bunch of questions like, do you have other dogs here and stuff? So I have a Great Dane, and then I watch these little dogs quite a bit, which is pretty obvious when you see my feedback and all that kind of stuff and whatnot. Like, I clearly, it says I watch multiple dogs at a time and stuff, and you want me to watch your dog like over Thanksgiving. Like, I'm gonna be busy, it's gonna be a lot of dogs here. So And then they start telling me how the dog sometimes gets a little bit, like, he plays too hard and stuff. He gets a little bit aggressive and, like, gets a little bit dominant. They use aggressive. They say he likes to get a little dominant at, like, dog parks and stuff with their dogs. And I'm like, well, my dog's pretty good with that kind of thing. So he doesn't tolerate it very much. And then he'll give him a big bark. And then if your dog doesn't listen, he'll give him a bigger bark kind of thing, and we'll figure it out. But I said the biggest thing you do is just ignore the whole process. And if my dog doesn't handle the interaction, then I will. But if we have to split it up, then it's one of those situations where it doesn't work, because we're not, you're especially not going to be here all the time, so you can't split this up. So I explained it to them pretty well, and they're like, okay. They're sitting there, and they said, stay seated. I'm going to get my dog, just stay seated. Because one, the energy of human beings when they're seated is way different than when they're standing. Totally different energy. And two, now the dog is excited to think, are we leaving? What's going on? Whatever. So walk over. It's 30 feet to my bedroom. Pop the door open, turn back around, and they're standing right there staring at me. And I'm like, you fucking idiots. So I'm like, hey, go have a seat. And they're not listening. And normally at that point, I will tell them, you can sit down or you can leave. I didn't. I was trying to go with the whole thing because she doesn't speak English. So I'm trying to work around the whole concept a little bit. And their dog immediately started trying to be a bully to my dog. Not worried about my dog getting injured because he's pretty big and pretty tough. But it's just the whole process. And she keeps yelling at them in Italian, which I don't speak, so I don't know exactly what she's telling the dog. But she keeps telling the dog no. That's the one thing in English she does. She keeps telling the dog no, and she keeps trying to break him up. I'm like, please stop. Like, I want to see how your dog's going to interact when you're not here, because you won't be here. So pretend you're not here. And of course, she don't understand me. He's not translating it back and forth. To the point the dog is getting just, not just like friendly play, but trying to be that dominant play. And he's too small to be dominant over my Dane, but he's trying to. And Bruce gives me a pretty big bark, and she freaks out. And she jumps in, like trying to start stuff, and she did like a swiping motion, like she was like hitting at my dog. Luckily missed, and I said, don't. I said, no, don't. I said, don't raise your hand at my dog. She looked at me, and I was like, okay, so there's stuff. And then I was like, just please give us space. Now she's standing on top of him. So now my dog is sitting next to me. He's sitting down next to me, and their dog is like right in his face, and she's hovering over, and the husband stepped up too. So now it's like 3 against 1 against my dog. I'm just like, hey, you guys need to back up. Give him some space. Like, back up here. And then the dog gets some stuff, and the dog barks. And my dog's trying to get him to wrestle, trying to be dominant. And Bruce barks at him again, and she freaks out. And I said, oh, ain't gonna work. Go somewhere else. So I grabbed my dog. I called Bruce, and then their dog, they can't even catch their dog. They're trying to hold him. So they got a hold of the collar. The dog pulls out of her hand, follows me to the bedroom. I put Bruce in the bedroom. I basically pin their dog against the wall so it can't go in the bedroom. Shut my door, and I said, you guys need to go away. Like, just go away. Not watching your dog, have no interest in this. So 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, because they weren't going to listen. I think that dog was fixable, and it was something I could have worked on, but I definitely at that point I would have said, hey, let's do it overnight. This week I have very few dogs here this week. I'm pretty limited. Even tonight, leave your dog with me right now. Book it for a one night overnight. Leave your dog with me right now, and then if it does good, then I'll watch the rest of the time after the first overnight when you guys aren't around. But they were unwilling to listen, unwilling to compromise, so I'm like, just go away. So they drove an hour here. They spent 15 minutes here, drive an hour back because they can't listen. So like, well, maybe just with their female dogs. I said, or maybe train your dog. That's a possibility. Get your dog trained. You won't have to worry about it. Or hire somebody to watch your dog in your house with no other dogs around, because clearly you don't care about your dog. And they looked at me kind of weird, and I'm like, go away. So threw them out of my house, and I was like, fuck it. So now I'm back. I let the old dog in. We were chatting a little bit and stuff like the old dog, giving him his pets. Then decided I was going to go over to the mechanic shop that's supposedly doing my air conditioning on my Suburban. And I say that was supposedly because they said it'd take a month, 2 months at the worst case scenario, and it's now been 2.5 months, and they're like halfway through the job, if that. And I was like, you gotta be shitting me. This is ridiculous. So to hell with it. Went over there, took my drills and stuff. And I think the part of the hang up is the next step we need to do is drill holes in the dash and cut the vent out above the radio and stuff. And I don't know if he's scared he's gonna screw it up, because he's talking about making like wooden blocks to hold it straight and all this crap. I'm like, just drill the fucking hole, man. Just drill the hole. It's a truck. This thing is not going to SEMA. It's a daily driver truck. Just drill the fucking hole. Like, come on. I know it costs more than anything else in the shop right now, but I don't care. I'll repaint it if I need to, if it gets to that point, whatever. Well, I'm just like, just drill the damn hole. So he's not gonna drill the hole, so I showed up to drill the hole. I was gonna do it yesterday. I got too busy. Didn't have time. I forgot I had King coming, so couldn't run up there yesterday. So I was there today. Took my drills and stuff with me. Done anything, got there, and basically got the templates cut them out. He's all like talking about trying to build this and measure here and stuff. I just held a piece of paper up to it, stuck the drill bit in the center of the hole, hit the back of my drill to give it a divot like you would for a little, you know, like a punch. Pulled the paper away, drilled the damn hole through it for the pilot hole, grabbed my big drill bit, drilled a giant 2.5-inch hole in my dash, and then went to the other side and fit the vent. The vent doesn't quite fit, it's a little tight. So I'm like, okay, no big deal. And then went to the other side, same thing, held the other side up, so I kind of laid it about what it looked like it where it should be. Held it there, punched the center of the drill bit, and then drilled the hole out. But there's a big hole saw bit back in it, which I had to order because he said he could have it all, but didn't have the tools for it. I think they were gonna try to use like the Sawzall type thing. I'm like, that's not gonna work. I want a pole saw here. So punched that one out, got it done, and then I asked him if he had a air saw, because all he has like a jigsaw and it doesn't work very good for this. So he said, yeah, I got an air saw with metal cutting disc. And I said, cool, get that for me. He went and got it for me. I drilled a couple 3 holes in the dash, put the saw blade up to it, punched through the holes with the saw blade, kind of ended up jumping off a little bit, and I ended up scratching the thing. Who cares? Not gonna see it, I don't care. Put some little scratches on my dash pad, which sucks because that is super expensive, but it's not stock factory. It's already been redone once. So it's not like I'm ruining, you know, 50-plus-year-old stuff. So who cares? It's like $800 for that pad though. But it's close enough where it is. I'll never worry about it again. I'll never care. So got the 4 holes in the corners piled out, got the saw cut out, took a little bit, basically ran through it, got it all sliced out where it needed to be. And then I was like, cool, we're good to go there. From there, made sure the vents fit. The other vents were still, I was afraid if I jammed them in to get them to truly fit, I wouldn't be able to get it back out for him to hook the hoses up. So I was like, okay, cool. Pulled him out and said, hey, do you have like a Dremel with like a sanding, preferably like a metal grinding, like a die grinder disc? He didn't, but he had a Dremel type setup with a little sandpaper disc on it. So ran around the hole 25, 30 times, whatever each. Got it watered out a little bit, got it smoothed off a little bit. Fits in and out, still tight. When you get that last little bit, it's gonna lock into place good. So it's got a locking ring to help you pivot the vents and stuff. It's all good to go. Went ahead from there, worked on the rear air conditioning handler where I want it to be, and they did tear my panel, which I was like, God damn it, they ripped that panel. But again, it's aftermarket, it's been recovered once already, so it's not like I'm ruining original shit, don't care. And that panel's getting all cut up to put my AC in, so it doesn't matter. So I went ahead, found where I wanted the hose to come in, found the AC vent will actually tuck up above the wheel well, in front of the wheel well. So I want to keep the AC in front of the wheel well. One, it'll be blowing on the passengers there more and the dogs there, but mostly I want it up front because I don't want to go over the axle, because it's more likely for a hose to get nicked by rocks and stuff on the axle, that kind of thing, and didn't want to put it behind. So I'm like, cool, we'll just leave it right here in the front. It'll work perfect. The only thing I have a little bit of concern for is that when you're getting in and out, the people are going to put their hand on that AC box and push down as they're getting that 3rd row seating. So I got to build some kind of bracket around it. Probably get a tube bender, go find somebody that's custom metal work, have them build me basically a tube handle. Might even have them done at Karen's work, have it cut out of a CNC with aluminum, bolted into the floor, have a nice little grab handle there, be all good to go, be set. So that's all done. I said I can't build the actual bracket right now. I can mount it at the wall, but I don't know how tight the hose comes out and bends down for my Freon lines, or R30, 134, whatever. But I don't know how tight that bend's gonna be. So until you get the hose length told to me so we can get hoses built, I don't know how tight I can make that bend. So until I know how tight you make that bend, I can't mount this thing. So I mount it, and it needs to come out a 1/4 inch. I gotta build whole new brackets. So it makes no sense. Just figure out the hoses. I told the guy straight up, I said, leave this thing lay flat on the ground. I don't give a shit. Like, wire it up, it's all powered in, it's all whatever. Who gives a damn? Move on with this whole process and go from here. But we need to move forward. So what do we need to do next? He's like, well, I got a bunch of problems, and apparently he didn't pay his fucking bills, and they're now starting to take his house. It's a whole goddamn mess. I'm like, I didn't make this mess for you. This was on you. I need to get this shit figured out. So moved on to my radiator cooler, which I did add a different radiator cooler onto it because the other one was on there I didn't trust. So I went ahead and took the brackets in, cut it off, made them fit. It's not perfect, not pretty, but it's gonna work. If I want it doctored up and prettied up later, I can do that later. I don't give a shit. So I got them all mounted and got them best I can get. So now I got a new radiator cooler, also ready to go. Also not screwed in because the air conditioning, I'm waiting for that to be finalized. Got to get some little spacers. I want to move it out about a 1/4 inch from the radiator, a little farther out of the gap, so it gives me a little more gap. But I'm not sure exactly where the line's going to run, so I can't do that. So at this moment right now, it's as far along as we can get. And I asked him, I said, what else needs from me right at this moment to make this happen? He goes, absolutely nothing. I go, good. So I spent 3.5, maybe, probably 3.5 hours, and got, I don't know, 5 days, 10 days worth of work done for them, because it's been at least, it's been Well, they hadn't done anything on it since I left my cruise. So the whole time I was gone, they accomplished nothing. So at least made the next step. So I reached out to him. I'm like, before I left, I'm like, hey, I need this truck back. Like, I don't know what it is. And well, I got this. And he started telling me he's been paying the other employee to work on it. And I'm like, that's your own fucking stupidity. You know, well, I've been paying her just 30 days work stuff, this much of it. I'm like, there's no way in fuck. She might have worked for you for 30 days, but she didn't work on my truck for 30 days. Because this right here, legitimately, is 24 hours worth of work if you did it. Everybody says the 3 8-hour day job or a 2 12-hour day job. That's all this is. So if she's got 30 days in this thing, she's accomplishing nothing. And again, she's halfway through it. Problem is right now, I don't know exactly what halfway she's done. So now we're in that situation of, hey, I don't know what she's accomplished, what she hasn't accomplished, and here we are. So yeah, fun. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I don't know if I can go get towed in or what I need to do, but I basically left there. I'm like, I need to have it figured out. And I'm like, I know you might think this is a toy vehicle for me, but this is my daily driver. Like, I need this thing done. I need this thing fixed. If I can get this thing running, get back out of the shop quickly enough, I can let my wife drive it until she finds her car she wants and not be forced into just buying something, dropping 40 grand on a car that we don't really need. But I bought this thing to haul dogs around. This is my company vehicle. This is what I bought for my business. And now it's been in the shop for, you know, going on 2 months and nothing's getting accomplished. So just like, I gotta start looking around, gotta find someone else to figure this thing out. I told him, I said, don't touch my brakes, because if you're if you're anywhere like you are at the air conditioning, I can't deal with this shit. So left there, got back to the house, had a dog getting picked up. So I was gonna stay longer, but I had to get back to the house, get back to their dog that was there hanging out with mom. So they came, picked the dog up, got down with it, and it's that weird time. It's not worth going back to the shop to work on my truck more. So I said, hell with it. And then from there, hung around the house a little while, went and got my run in, got myself a shower, went and picked my wife up after work, and everything was good to go there. So worked out fine, got back, had basically ended up having, I think it was ribs. We ended up having ribs. She did in the crock pot, and I thought we were gonna do barbecue ribs, but apparently not. She just did boiled ribs, I guess. So did ribs, Parmesan potatoes and broccoli. Had a wonderful little dinner, which will be enough for tomorrow also. So that works out nice. Watched an episode of Grace and Frankie. From there, headed back outside with no dogs here at the house. Feels really weird. But had a dog here today, but already gone. So it was just daycare only. So worked out fine. And then basically from there, headed back out, had myself a cigar, and then headed in a little bit on the early side to wrap it up. Oh, when I was on my run, I almost forgot. When I was on my run, there's a gentleman I saw who has some old race cars out of his house and raced like the 4-cylinder class quite a bit and whatnot. And asking about racing and what it costs to kind of get into a car and stuff. And he said he does a like driving experience where you can basically rent his car. They'll rent out this the track like on a Wednesday, real cheap. They'll bring you out, let you run a few laps, get comfortable in the car, and then if you want, you can come out on the weekend for the race night and actually race in an actual race. And then so you drive the car in the week, get the feel of it, then you go out and actually get a race, and it's like $600. I'm like, dude, I am doing that. So now I just got to find a weekend where I'm free, where I can go out and race a car and see how it does. So, but I saw him again because he also does mechanic work. So I stopped and asked him, I said, hey man, not for nothing, but you're working on your car here and stuff. Do you work on old shit, like 67 Suburbans? And he goes, yeah. And I said, I want to put disc brakes on. He goes, well, yeah, good luck finding one. I'm like, no, I have it. I have all the parts and stuff. And he said he's going to work up a quick estimate of what he thought it would cost and get back to me. Gave him my card, then never heard from him. So he said, I'll get back to you tonight, stuff, blah, blah. Didn't hear from him. So hopefully I'll hear from him tomorrow, whatever. And hopefully he'll tell me. At this point, I'm not even really concerned about the price. I mean, I do care about the price, but I just want to know how quick he can get it in and get it out, and if he's actually accomplishable to do it. Because right now, I'll pay all the money. I don't care. I just want my truck back, and realize that I made the mistake and trusted somebody who I thought was a decent, good person, and I was completely wrong. This dude fucking screwed me, screwed me. So it's that concept of, it's what I get for trusting people. And I thought I had somebody that was trustworthy. Turned out they're not, and they're kind of a piece of shit. So don't happen to me very often where somebody fools me that bad. This guy definitely fooled me, and now I'm paying the price for that. But I need to get my Suburban back before I start to hate that guy so much that I start to let that hatred roll over to my hatred of that truck, and realize I should have said hell with it. I should have just built the damn garage myself and done all the damn work myself, and said hell with it instead of relying on other people. And that's a big reason why in my life I may not do it right, and I may not do it fast, and I may not do it cheap, but I'll get it done when I do it myself. When I rely on other people, I get screwed. And that's what happened to me. Don't have all the tools. I lost a bunch of my tools in the fire of home, so I don't have my shop full of tools I would have had. And I don't have my uncles and stuff here that up there I would have had. I could have stopped by, borrowed tools, and borrowed knowledge from. Don't have that here. And the first time been here for 7+ years, had to hire a mechanic to do work. Everything else I can all do myself. Wheel bearings and carburetors and brake lines and whole new brake system on my truck, which was not quite the same thing as this one. I'm going from drums to disc, where it was just disc to disc, but high performance disc brakes and stuff in my truck, all kinds of stuff that I did, everything 100% myself. And now I got enough injuries in my body that sitting on the ground, crawling around the dirt, driveway and stuff, doing work is just not that fun for me, the idea. So thought I'd hire somebody and got screwed. So I'm out some money. Biggest thing, I'm out time. I can always make more money. It's the time I'm out that sucks the most. So kind of is what it is. But it's all I got for now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day.